Good evening, savages, and welcome back to another episode of Savagely Paranormal. Tonight, we are talking about dreams and the paranormal, and if they correlate at all.
Yeah. Have you ever had a dream where a loved one or somebody you knew passed away and they either came to talk to you or you went to them or your pet came to see you?
No.
No?
I haven't.
I have. I've had dreams where my grandma has come, where it's like she actually came to talk to me. Then I've had other dreams where we're just living through like everyday life. Um, I've had pets, but I know it's a common thing. People have a lot of dreams about their relatives or loved ones or whatever the case may be.
Right, well, I mean, they say that it's easier for spirits to communicate and, interact with you when you're asleep, so it kind of makes sense
Yeah.
that people would have those kinds of dreams. I don't know.
They say that the part of your brain that as you grow up teaches you that what you see isn't really there and stuff, that part of your brain is asleep. So it's
Turns off.
easier for them.
I click the switch and it turns
Yeah.
off. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've never had dreams of loved ones or anything, but I've had dreams of conversations and then a few days later they happen, or different dreams of the locations that we gone to.
I've had those. Like before we go on an investigation, you have I don't know if it would be the spirits that are there or your guides or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes they're warning you. Sometimes it's just, hey, look, make sure you check this out when you're there or whatever.
Right. I mean, we were just at Beale Manor not too long ago, and a few days before we went, I had a dream of this really creepy staircase. Not really creepy, but it was a creepy staircase.
It was an old, dilapidated staircase, so it would fit your typical creepy, scary
creepy.
staircase.
But I in my dream, I seen this little boy huddled in the back corner underneath the stairs, and the stairs had this weird old doors, and then we get to the manor and we did the tour, and I was like, that.
Yeah.
You were like, is that what you seen? That is what I seen.
Yeah.
Small person hanging out back under there. It was weird. It's interesting.
Some of our more demonic or just bad cases in general. I've had dreams about things that were going to happen if we went, or things that had previously happened at the houses.
Yeah, we well, the case that we almost took in Tennessee, I had a lot of nightmares about dying horrifically there, and yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, I've been on a couple demonic cases where before, it can be anywhere from a month before I would start having warning dreams.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess we get that. I mean, I guess that's kind of normal for sensitives or people. I don't know. I would say that it might be normal for other people in this field to have those kind of things. People that have those interactions with those kind of entities. There's always something there that are like, hey, hey, you need to watch this.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You don't really.
It's weird how
often, so.
It's kind of weird how only people who have dreams of relatives or loved ones or whatever, not all of them seem to come through.
Yeah.
I know there's been many times where I would go to sleep and I would say, so and so, please come visit me in my dream or whatever.
And then they don't.
And they don't. Right. And my grandma, she makes a regular occurrence in my dreams, but other people they don't, even though.
But you were really close to your grandma, so that kind of makes sense that she would come back and check on you and make sure you're doing okay and let you know that she's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And I know Tabby, who was just here, she's recently been having some dreams, and um,
Right, she dreams about her grandma a lot and like going to visit
her mom.
Her mom.
It was her mom.
And going to like wherever, whatever dimension, realm, plane,
however you want to call it.
She's on, and like it's always nice and pretty, and you know.
So that opened the discussion of, is her mom really visiting her, or is she projecting to wherever her mom is?
I think it's possible for both. I mean, her mom might be pulling her into that. Or she could be astral projecting in her sleep to there. I don't know. It's interesting because she said that she doesn't really recognize the place. So
she said it's just really happy and pretty. So is that really what it's like where her mom is, or was her mom kind of protecting her from anything, or did her mom just make it a happy, peaceful place to make her more at ease?
I don't know. What do you think?
I figure I think it's more based on what a person believes in.
Okay.
If you believe that whoever you are visiting is in a good place, you will see a good place. If you believe they're in a bad place, you may be having a nightmare.
I can see that.
True.
Yeah.
I feel it's based on your feelings of that particular person and or family member.
Yeah, I would definitely. That actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've had weird dreams about like the Hotel Conneaut with the
I don't like this dream.
I don't it's weird. I've never ever seen anything like what I seen in this dream. So I'm standing on the back deck, you know, the part that like overlooks the water, like where that like bar is. And then these like gray shadow figures just like zombie walk out of everywhere, like over the water, out of the
grandmother's house we go.
Yeah,
and I believe that's actually the front of the hotel.
Is it the front? I thought it was the back. Is it the front?
That'd be the front because that's where you walk into the lobby.
Oh. Oh yeah, I guess
it would be.
right.
I thought it was the back of the hotel.
I thought it was the back too.
No, the back is where we entered to go in for our seats in the basement.
Oh, okay. So that makes more sense. I thought it was like the back, but like I guess you're standing on the deck, so like I guess that is like the front of the hotel. But it was a very like weird dream though. Like it was just like it was literally like a shadow person, like the outline of people, but they were like shimmery gray. It was weird.
That is weird.
I've never seen anything like that before, so it was interesting.
Not knowing what it was, if you think about the hotel in general,
yeah,
you have weddings, potentially wakes, funerals, whatever you want to call them, two of the most emotional times in people's lives.
Right. Plus, a lot of people in that area have like mysteriously vanished without a trace, and
like, a lot of people, I'm sure, probably drowned there.
Yeah, I know there's at least one girl that drowned, like right off that deck.
When you figure through the years, there's got to be hundreds and hundreds of people that have drowned in that body of water,
or have died mysteriously at the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could simply be lost souls. They could be just spirits going to a gathering place that they would normally have been, whether it was for a party or
like Brian has said before, that you know, like the hotels had like the bar, the tavern, and so like it was like the middle ground. It was the meeting place for everybody. That's probably where they held a lot of like the town meetings and stuff. So it kind of makes sense why there would be like tons and tons of spirits there.
Yeah. And whatever the land was before it was the hotel there, I'm sure there's tons and tons of stories from that.
Yeah, I mean, there is a weird legend there that the land is cursed by some kind of like Native American.
Wouldn't surprise me because most of everything was Native American at one point in time, and as we all know, a lot of things happened and
Yeah.
not all of them were good.
Right. Yeah, it's just interesting how some people dream of like relatives, and then you have like some of the sensitives that dream of like things that are gonna happen.
The apocalypse or natural disasters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't dream of winning lotto numbers.
Right, I wish.
I wish.
Personal gain does not work that way.
No, it does
I
not.
I know. It's just, it would be nice. I mean, it'd be great. It would solve a lot of problems.
But could potentially create more.
That's okay. I will take the risk.
Yeah, I mean, does the risk outweigh the karma, though? I mean,
No.
probably not. I mean,
I
you
don't
know, you're bound to like win the lotto and like buy the big fancy house and have it burned down like 3 days
I don't
later.
even
That
want-
would be my luck.
I don't want to buy the big fancy house. I just want enough.
Right. Just enough to get by and be comfy.
I want to be able to buy enough. That's all. But then, as far as dreams go, then we have the reoccurring dreams.
Yeah.
Which pretty much everybody has had a reoccurring dream. I've had 2 that have followed me throughout my life. One started when I was a kid, and it was people, and they were always either following me or chasing me or after me for something. I still to this day don't know why, because they haven't caught me yet. But they're people, and they look like people, but they have nothing but white eyes. And it used to terrify me so bad. I would wake up screaming and just scared to death. And then it went away for many years. And over the last maybe 10, 15 years, they've started coming back.
Yeah. I mean, I have a weird reoccurring nightmare that I've had since I was a kid because, you know, I am sensitive and spirits tend to follow me and converge wherever I am. So we're walking down this like creepy path with like the old creepy twisty trees, and then like it turns into an apple orchard, and there's a cemetery in the apple orchard, which is weird enough on its own.
Yeah.
And,
although it's good fertilizer.
And then you have like the weird, creepy, like skeleton scarecrow-y thingy, and whoever I happen to be in a dream with, except for Brian, gets eaten. He's the only one that's ever survived in my dreams. I haven't had any of you in that dream yet.
Let me know when I get eaten.
But it's weird, and then, you know, normally at that point in time, I know that it's probably time that I need to, like, cleanse the things and like help things move on, because that's a sign that I've collected too many things, because he gets mad and he wants to try to take those. He's a bubbic, so like he eats the souls of things and then he makes clothes out of them, which is weird in itself. But
I think the whole thing's weird because to me it sounds like you're working for him and you're just bringing him all the souls to eat.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, and at this point in time, if we can determine that dreams are tied to the paranormal, if it were a case you show up in her dream at the time of your death, you would probably wake up.
Yeah.
And you would have no idea why you woke up.
That is true.
Yeah. It's just a weird, random...
Or...
I don't know.
Because as your subconscious cannot make new faces, cannot make new people appear in your dreams.
So it's not...
You're surrounded by those that are familiar to you and that are easier for your brain to comprehend.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, could be just, you know, other spirits, but, like, that's just the way they appear in
That's
the dream.
the way they appear to you because...
It's familiar. It's people
all
that I know.
They don't even have to be people you know. Like, every single person you see in your dream, you've seen at some point in your life. Could have been when you were 6 months old.
Right.
But it's in there.
Right. It's just weird because, you know, like, the Babik is like I want to say he's like the Czechoslovakian, like, boogeyman. He's like Croatian check area. Like he's the boogeyman essentially, and like
Mm-hmm.
that's what children are warned about. He's gonna get you. It's just weird that like he cries like a baby, and you're like, in my dream, everybody we're like there for like a ghost hunt. It's weird, and everybody's got like equipment, and they're all like wandering around the cemetery, and I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't know why, but this is weird. And then the baby starts crying like a baby, and they're like following the sound, and then everybody just gets eaten. It's weird. I don't know.
It would be
I don't get it.
interesting to me to see if you would recognize that cemetery if we ever found it.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm like, if I ever see this weird, creepy cemetery, like in person,
I mean, because we can
I'm
Google
gonna
image
cry.
cemeteries, and if we happen to come across one that looks like it, that would be pretty interesting.
It's gonna be like in the middle of the woods, and it's gonna be an old apple orchard.
Doesn't necessarily have to be an apple orchard. It could be just what your brain portrays it as.
Right.
But I would love to see if we can actually find a cemetery that looks like
Which
it.
is weird because one of the cases that we did one of the cases that we did in Geneva down the street, there was a cemetery that was turned into an apple orchard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. I don't know.
I mean,
You're the only one that doesn't ever get eaten. I don't know why. It's weird.
while I was in the at the Moonville Tunnel, you go up a little path, you go up a hill, there's a cemetery in the middle of the woods.
That's all fine and good, but I ain't going there. So if you want to go check it out, have at it.
I
They're-
kind
they've-
of feel like I need to go.
They apparently moved all of the graves except for a few. I think one of the founding families is still up there, and there's a Civil War soldier up there,
Interesting.
and a couple other graves, but there's a monument up there now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a
Which
weird...
was weird in and of itself because it was so dark you couldn't see this thing.
No.
And it was made out of like white marble.
No, I'm good.
My dad turned his camera on and it was like instantly white on his camera, and he was like, "What is that?" So he had to turn his flashlight on, and you got this big like monument right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just a weird dream that I recurrently have, and I don't know why. It's just weird. I don't get it, but at that point, I usually know that it's time to help things go.
Then again, if you look at it from this point of view, Chestnut Grove is in the middle of a quote-unquote woods. It is surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
But you've been there. Does it look familiar at all?
Sort of.
I mean, you have the big mass grave right in the middle of the cemetery.
Yeah, and there's like weird, creepy, like mausoleums everywhere in my dreams. So I don't know. It's possible. There are a lot of really creepy mausoleums at Chestnut Grove.
A lot of those mausoleums have colored glass surrounding them.
Keep the evil in. Yeah, it's an old gypsy trick. It protects you. It's like a circle. It's like almost like a salt circle, but like it confuses the spirits, and it's like a witch ball, and like they get stuck in the glass. I don't know. It's just weird.
The way you said keep the evil in, I was like, why would they need to keep the evil in if they just buried somebody? Wouldn't they want to keep the evil out?
Is that person good or bad?
Right, that's kind of where I was going with that. I mean, do they only do that if they were bad people?
Well, there's only one mausoleum there that I have noticed. The glass, like, it surrounds like the entire building. And when we walk up onto like I don't want to say porch, but it's kind of like a porch. If you walk between the two pillars, on one side of it, it's really hot, and the other side, it's really cold. It's weird. I don't know.
That's a bit off topic, though.
Yeah, but it falls in line with her dream.
It does.
But
sort of. But yeah.
But then you've got people who claim that they have dreams foretelling the future.
Yeah. I mean, I've had dreams where I've had like conversations with people, and a few days later, like that conversation happens.
Yeah. But like, there's people that dreamt of
like the
natural
different
disasters, and I don't know. Is it their own
psyche
abilities that they have, or are spirits
warning
them so that they can warn other people, or just warning them for the heck of it? So I don't know.
I don't know. That's interesting.
You know, they say animals can predict inclement weather,
Mm-hmm.
and what are humans if not animals?
Right. I mean, I personally can feel changes in the environment, atmosphere, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, I mean,
kind of goes hand in hand with being sensitive, though. Like, you feel the energy shift.
yeah, that's how we can even feel different things from people or spirits, because
yeah.
I don't know.
I guess, I mean, and a lot of people think that like high EMF stuff, they'll cause like hallucination. So what's to say that high EMFs can't make you like dream weird things?
I don't
like,
see why
kind
it
of like a
couldn't. It's the same thing. You're
hallucination,
just
but
sleeping.
right. It's kind of like a hallucination, but you're just asleep.
Night terrors, nightmares, all of it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting topic.
And then you've got the people who can astral project or astral travel or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that and you're sleeping, are you really dreaming or are you really going somewhere?
I don't know. I mean, I've done that a few times. And like mostly just stared at myself sleeping.
But were you dreaming
weird.
it or did you
I don't
really
know.
do it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
That's not something you can actually quantify.
No.
Somebody can say that they've done it, and they can describe a place.
Describe a place to a T that they've never been.
But with technology, it's harder to say today.
Because there's more technology. And
because the technology today, you can instantly look it up and go, oh yeah, I've been there.
Right.
But not physically. I did it through astral travel.
Right.
It's the power of Google.
Yeah, I've been there too, through the power of Google Maps.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's just, I don't know. I think it's interesting that you have so many people that have like plane traveled and like seen these other weird dimensions where there's like other beings and other stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think it's interesting how all of that like works. I'm like, so I mean, in my mind, so if you're like, you know, hallucinations, like that's kind of similar to dreaming. Not really, but it's your brain like it's like your brain tricking you into thinking you're seeing things. So like, you know, like I know a few people that have done some questionable activities and have like hallucinated like people that weren't there. So I'm like, are they opening themselves by doing those activities or taking those
or putting themselves in a dream state?
Right. Do they actually see things, or is it their brain like, haha, we're gonna mess with you?
With hallucinogens, though, there is a high factor for suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
You can tell somebody who is tripping balls that they're going to see certain things. And that power of suggestion allows them to see said things.
True.
Very true. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird.
I don't know. It's hard because there's so many, and like you were saying with religion and everything being a factor in what you perceive your dreams to be. What if you have somebody who doesn't really consider themselves any religion and they have one of these visits from whoever and they wake up and they're 100% that was so-and-so,
I mean, if they don't have a religious preference, atheists, more than likely, they're not going to believe it either way because they don't believe in spirits. They don't believe in an afterlife.
But what if they're not atheists? What if they
They just
believe there's something, they just have no idea, they haven't figured out what it is yet?
To say it as being 100% sure it's that person would have to tell them something that even they didn't know.
Right.
Because you're going to remember that person. You're going to remember things that they've said. So you remember their mannerisms. So that could be it could just be your subconscious.
Yeah.
Because it's familiar to you.
So let's say little Susie says her great aunt came to her in a dream.
One that she's never met before, that died before she was born.
Yeah, and she spouted off some facts about her great aunt that she would have no way of knowing whatsoever.
Then again, where that ties into the paranormal would be, was it really her aunt or was it something else? Because they are going to know that too.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen entities masquerade as other people and other things.
Yeah.
Not just people. And, they can be quite convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if there's no malevolence to it, she describes a person, or she doesn't even describe them per se, and they're flipping through an old family album.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, that's the lady I see in my dreams." Come to find out, it's a great aunt she's never met, and it's a picture from when one of her parents was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it is all open to interpretation.
Right.
Right. I mean,
there's tons of stories like that where the kids, they're flipping through a photo album and they say, "Oh my goodness, I've seen this person. I've talked to them
or
in my
this
dreams.
is my friend so and so," and it happens to be a nickname with that family member as they were growing up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so like my cousin Lucas, he's like probably like 10-ish now. When he was little, he was convinced, like dead on, that he was not from our family. Like we're his other family.
Mm-hmm.
He had another family. And so every time we went to like the cemetery, he'd be like, "Man, I want to go and plant flowers on my other family's graves and stuff." And we're like, "I don't know who your other family is." But he like describes this whole other family. And like, I mean, it's possible because, kids are more open to that stuff. But like, I mean, yes, it's possible that he is telling us from like a previous life. But it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know this person and I had this many siblings and I lived here." And I'm like, I don't even know where that is. And it's I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. He has dreams of his other family all the time. It's just interesting.
Well, then you've got Caden, who had dreams of his operations, who used to tell him things, and at 2 years old could speak full adult sentences of things that he had no way of knowing.
Yeah, I think some kids are just more open and more sensitive to that kind of thing. So it's like my kid has weird dreams all the time. Like when we lived in Chardon, she had this reoccurring dream where this giant shadow person was standing outside of her bedroom window. She was on the bottom floor, so I mean it's plausible, but it came with this little tiny elf on the shelf size thing. I don't know what it was, but he had like no ears and like a snake nose, and he was green, and it was weird. And she's like, they just like to stare at me through the window, and I'm like,
that's creepy.
That's creepy. We're just gonna keep the curtains closed from now on, because that is weird, and I don't know what that is. She's like, I just keep dreaming that they're just standing there watching me, and I was like, that is creepy. She's like, yeah, the shadow person has like red eyes and they glow, and I was like, that is weird. I don't know how to deal with this.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know.
But then, like my ex's brother's girlfriend moved in with us, and the dreams stopped.
No, that's weird. Even more weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Very weird. As long as she was alone, she dreamt weird dreams. Somebody else sleeps in the room with her, she's fine. Not a dream.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, what about like night terrors and stuff? Do you think it's a simple malfunction of the brain causing this, or is there something more malevolent at play?
In the case of like night terrors and nightmares, just like in your waking life, if you see good things, you see bad things, your subconscious has good days and it has bad days.
Mm-hmm.
So, more often than not, if you're really stressed, you're not getting good sleep, your subconscious isn't fully resting, you're going to see twisted shapes.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to dream things that you don't really want to be dreaming, but it's not because you're unhappy, or it's not because you watched something scary.
Right.
I mean, that can play a factor because it helps.
It's the power of suggestion.
And then
it's like Chucky chasing you through the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that, and when it's all said and done, it really just depends on your mental state when you go to bed. If you're calm and you're relaxed, more often than not, you're going to have pleasant dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It's valid.
If you're stressed or you're upset or you've got bad things going on, you're not going to get restful sleep.
True.
So your dreams most likely will not be pleasant.
True.
It's going to cause you to continue to wake up or feel like you're waking up a lot.
I know Tressa used to have a lot of night terrors, but she didn't remember them when she would wake up, but she would wake up in one of two things. She would either wake up screaming, or she would get up and like sleepwalk and talk and everything, and I could tell because she always had a distinct look on her face, and she was always soaked with sweat. But sometimes she wouldn't even speak English. It would be gibberish. And then she would have absolutely no recollection of it in the morning.
And the thing with like the sleepwalking, sleep talking,
mine does that.
You're not awake. Your muscles are relaxed. Your brain and subconscious are awake.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever she's seeing in her head, it might be coming out in fluent English.
Right.
Your niece is a sleepwalker, and she talks in her sleep. Like, she carries on full conversations with something, like full-blown regular talking. Like, she will sit bolt upright, look at somebody, have a full conversation, and then 30 seconds later she's snoring. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking to. I don't want to know. Nope. No.
I can hold full conversations while I'm sleeping.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I told you this morning when I woke you up.
Was I really awake, though? Probably not.
You answered. Doesn't mean I was awake.
All right. I mean, like, that Like
That
what?
reminds me of how the last time my dad ever checked on us as a kid. My sister shared a room. I had my own room. He heard a man talking from upstairs,
Oh.
from my sister's room.
Okay.
Oh.
He said he walked in, like ready, thought he had an
Well,
intruder.
Yeah.
Said he opened the door, walked in. My little sister sat straight up in bed, looked over at him, eyes wide open, and in a deep man's voice looked at him and said, "What do you want?"
Ooh.
I'd have been like, nothing, bye.
He said, "Nope," closed the door, went back downstairs, said, "I'm not checking on the kids again."
Get the holy water. Oh, Lord. No.
Here, drink this.
Right?
And my little sister had a high-pitched voice when we were growing up. So.
That's creepy. I mean, like, your niece, my kid, there's only been one time that she has slept walk all the way outside, and we were sitting out on the porch the one day after when he still worked, like, night shift. And we were watching, like, random stupid YouTube videos. And she walks down, had a whole conversation with us, and I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, kid. Well, this is the first. She's never actually, like, walked outside before. I turned her around, got her back upstairs, put her into bed. As soon as she hit the bed, she was snoring. It was the weirdest thing that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, note to self. My kid is creepy. Note to self, keep the big door shut because then she doesn't escape.
No, that won't work.
Sometimes it works. She can't.
My half-sister used to sleepwalk, and she's made it out the house, down the street to people's houses.
Lily can't figure out how to unlock the doors in her sleep or unzip things. Like she's slept walk a few times at camp, and like she can't figure out how to unzip the tent.
Oh, give her
So
time.
you
She
hear
will.
her, you hear her like struggling with like her sleeping bag and like trying to like find the zipper. Like you hear her moving, and then we're like, "Hey, you okay?" And then like a minute or two later, you don't hear anything. You just hear her snore. I'm like, they're like, "Hey, you might want to go check on her and make sure she's still there."
There are documented cases of people who sleepwalk. They have to have a lock on their bedroom door.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, they know how to open that lock.
Yes, they do.
And they will, straight out in their boxers, go outside and go for a run.
Yeah, there's people who have gotten in their cars and went through their normal routine and been completely asleep. That's why a lot of people who have kids that sleepwalk and stuff, they have the door alarms on their doors because they can, even though she may not right now.
Right. My mom sleeps out in the living room now, so we're okay.
Sleeps.
Yeah. Ow. Hurt.
But I don't know. It's weird. Lily has like full conversations with things. Like she'll be like, "Why do you look so scary? Why is your hair on fire? And why is it all electricity and stuff?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
She's talking to the Pantheon.
Well, yeah. Is it something
don't
that's
know.
really in her head, or is it something that's there?
Knowing my child, anything is possible. I mean,
Well, knowing any child.
those kind of things, like those kind of abilities run in our family. So who knows? Like, she's just weird. I don't know. It's weird. It's creepy when you hear her like talking to something in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm afraid to go out there and see somebody standing in her doorway as she's talking.
You're a paranormal investigator, and
sometimes my kid freaks me out though, especially when she starts talking like.
I need to train myself to sleep
weird
with
stuff.
my eyes open.
No, that's creepy. Why
That's
would you do
weird.
that? No, Lily does that. That's weird. It's
No,
creepy.
that's
Her
weird.
eyes aren't fully open though. Her eyes are only half open.
It's creepy. I'm like, you need
It's
to
not good
stop
for your
that.
eyes. They causes, well, it doesn't cause, but you can have complications of dry eye. It's not fun.
My
I
kid.
have dry eyes anyway from
So do I.
watching playing too many video games
Oh, I just,
and not blinking.
no, I have it because that's part of my autoimmune things, but
My
it's
kid
not fun.
sleeps with her eyes half open a lot. It's creepy. Yeah.
That's weird. No thanks.
No. No. The things that comes out of my child's mouth in her dreams is just weird. It is weird. It is creepy. Why are you standing there staring at me? What do you want? I'm like, who are you talking to? I don't know if I want to know.
There was the time she walked into your room and stood over your bed while you were sleeping.
Yeah, she's done that quite a few times. Scared the crap
Last
out
time
of me.
my kid almost did that. The last time my kid did that, almost got knocked across the room.
Mine will.
I do
He
not.
raised his hand. I'm not sure what that's for.
Let's finish your thoughts. There's a question.
Oh, okay.
How do children talk to spirits? Is it a learned ability from a young age or passed down?
Children, they haven't learned not to yet.
Most children have, as a child, you are more open to the spiritual realm.
Because society hasn't like corrupted you into believing that stuff doesn't exist yet.
Most people will tell you it is because of their innocence.
Because
They haven't learned the ways of the world yet.
Yeah.
But their third eye hasn't closed.
Yeah.
But they haven't been pushed one way or the other.
Right. If you're raised in a family that like believes in that stuff and like actively practices that kind of mindset, then you're more likely to
have it passed down.
But most kids are born with it simply because that's normal. They haven't been taught, trained, or otherwise learned that what they're seeing is not quote unquote real.
Right. And I mean, there's a lot of speculation out there that everybody is born with the ability to have those kind of like psychic abilities, like talking to spirits, seeing spirits and stuff. It's just a matter of some people don't use the ability after they reach a certain age and some people do. It's kind of like a hit or miss.
It's kind of one of those use it or lose it type things, because as kids grow older, it's not that they lose it, they just don't know how to use it because they don't.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's just
I hope that answered their question.
kind of sort of a little bit.
In the long version.
I mean,
Well, you got 3 different minds explaining it each a different ways. So
yeah, I mean, most children, they just talk to things, they see things because they're little, and society hasn't told them, no, don't do that, or no, what you are seeing isn't real.
Oh, but it is real.
It is. Just people like to tell children what to do and think and say, and that kind of, dulls your senses and stuff. I mean, after so long of you being told that you can't do that and it's not real, that part of you just switches off.
And even if they're not necessarily told that, if they constantly see these spirits and nobody in the household sees them, even if nobody has told them don't do that, they eventually just learn it on their own that, hey, nobody else can see this, so maybe
Either they hide it really well,
yeah,
or
if they see me talking to this, they're gonna think something's wrong, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Or they get told by their parents it's all in their head.
Right. That's the famous phrase.
Yeah. You're not really seeing that. It's all in your head. You'll be fine. Stop talking to it. It'll go away.
Yeah.
For some of us, that doesn't work.
Do we have any other questions?
Nope, no other questions.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I don't know. Just some kids see stuff, some kids don't. It depends.
Yeah.
I think
Consider
most
yourself
kids,
lucky or unlucky.
I think most kids at some point in time or another see something occasionally. Like most kids have like the imaginary.
Generally speaking, all kids at some point do. It's just a matter of whether it's when they're a baby and they're cooing in their cribs and they're looks like they're just laying there just babbling. Some studies have said that no, they're not just babbling. They're seeing all the spirits and they're just, I don't know, they're just babbling away with them.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting what children can see and do and dream and have that kind of like interactions with spirit versus like an adult.
It would be nice to not have that filter all
Yeah.
the time and actually be able to experience things the way we should before society told us, no, that's not right.
I mean, you can work to improve your abilities and stuff. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. You can open your
Mhm.
abilities back up. It's just a matter of how much you practice using them.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those use it or lose it kind of things.
Right.
In order to keep it, you have to use it. I don't know. We have another question.
What does your daughter see?
My daughter sees all kinds of stuff, so depends. Like
Depends on the day.
she likes to go through our pictures from investigations and point out the various spirits that she can see in the pictures.
I think
Weird.
what they're asking here more, though, is what does she see as, like, every day?
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of depends on the day. Sometimes there have been occasions where she has seen like weird little creatures or the
She saw a
spirits.
shadow figure walking down the driveway.
Yeah, when we were here the one time, she seen a shadow figure follow Brian outside, and then it followed her son Caden down the driveway. So she has seen shadow figures. She has seen like full body people apparitions.
She saw that one creepy thing outside your house the one time. Not the Chardon house, this house.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was though. Oh, it was like some weird little, like, it was like a dragon demon thing. I don't even know what it was. It was weird. The way she described it was weird. No, she's seen what she describes as Batman.
Yeah.
Like, well, she was like 4. It was like, she's like, Mommy, he's really big and he has wings and like pointy
it's
ears.
Kind
like,
of a mixture of a
horns.
shadow figure and Mothman.
Yeah, she sees weird things. I don't know. She's seeing like
I don't know what it is.
like the inky, muddy, gloopy, like weird looking dogs. I don't know what I don't even know what kind of
I don't know
thing
what
that is. Apparently it might be a type of hellhound. I don't really know.
I don't know.
I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. She's seen my granddad at our house quite often.
Oh yeah, I remember
When
that.
she was little, she used to say, "Don't worry, the old man will water the flowers and he will clean up the toys and stuff." And yeah, so like, and she's not the only one that has seen my granddad at our current house. One of our neighbors who was sensitive said that she's seen an old man like walking around looking like he was watering things, and then we had a picture of my granddad and me and my cousin on the refrigerator. She's like, "That's him. I've seen him. When was he here?" Well, he died like 20 some years ago. Yeah. So that was an interesting. Yeah, she went like white as a ghost when she seen that picture. It was
Isn't that ironic?
Oh, and then at the Chardon house, when we lived in Chardon, she's seen a woman that had black hair, but it was like electric-y, and she had white eyes, and it really, really spooked her. She's like, "Mommy, it looked like she was being electrocuted, and it was weird." And I was
do
like,
white eyes.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's about. I don't know.
Don't do white eyes.
I don't know. She sees like weird. She's had some weird things that she has seen. At one of the other houses that we looked at before we bought the Chardon house, she was playing Ring Around the Rosie with a orb of light that we still can't figure out what it was. I don't know what it was. It was weird.
I would guess it was probably a kid that lived there at one point in time.
Well, it was in like a
No,
Winnie
no,
the
no,
Pooh themed room, so who knows?
In Megan's case, that wasn't a child.
That's right.
It was a
Couldn't have been
demon.
a kid.
It was a demon. I don't know. I thought it was a fae, which is entirely possible. I don't know. That's weird. She sees weird things all the time.
Demon until proven otherwise.
Right.
The hit or miss with
There
my
are no
kid.
kid spirits. They're all demons.
They're all demons until proven otherwise.
So biased.
It's not a very good paranormal investigator. Not everything's a demon. Call you Zach for short.
Careful, she might get possessed.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
well, we were close.
We've already had that.
Been there,
almost
done
happened. Yeah, been there, done that. Well, I mean,
Every time we go on an investigation, she'll get possessed.
Yeah, that is
No.
true. Well, if we're gonna call her Zach, who's the other one?
Are you Nick?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Aaron?
That would have to be.
I'm not Aaron. All Aaron does is
I'm-
scream. I love Aaron, but all he does is scream.
I'd be the one that gets talked into doing all the weird shit.
That's Aaron.
Excuse my language.
Yeah. I mean, at the last investigation, I got pinched on the butt, so, and we were talking to a child.
Yeah, remember, there are no children.
It's a child. I mean,
It was a kid. We got a girl's voice.
yeah, it was interesting. It was a very interesting investigation.
I don't know what it is with paranormal and liking my beard, but they always like to touch it, so.
Yeah, they like to pet you. It was weird. I mean, I guess as a kid, I could see why a kid would pet your beard. Like, look
Why isn't it white like Santa?
He doesn't have any toys. He didn't bring a big sack of toys.
Well, I mean, we did have the cat ball and the laser grid, so technically he did kind of have toys.
Sure.
We were sitting right by an abacus.
Sure that.
That too. That room was weird though. It had like a weird floor. It was like a funhouse floor. It was weird.
Anything else?
No,
I think I had a brick floor, or at least it was brick at one point.
I don't know. It was weird.
I think it was concrete.
We'll
right now, but
we'll
I don't
have
know.
to go back into. We'll let you guys. We'll go over that case next.
Hopefully
Next week.
I still have a lot
Or
of work I gotta do.
definitely the week after. We have a lot of cool evidence that we got from that case.
I don't have any way to check anything, so.
Yeah. Okay. You come to my house and check stuff. We have a lot of stuff to go through.
My last laptop took a crap.
Yeah. I don't know.
Somehow it got shorted out.
I mean, your kid has seen stuff here.
My kid has seen a lot of things.
That's true.
I seen the shadow guy downstairs.
And he has weird
I
dreams.
have a picture of it. I can't find it, but I have a picture of it somewhere.
He has
I've seen
weird.
the cat downstairs too. He really likes me until I pick him up.
Well, I mean, he has.
He's real though.
He has weird dreams about this house too, though.
He sees things in his room all the time. He sees the shadow person standing in his corner. He's seen a little girl.
He's seen something standing outside his window.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw what he calls a mutant cat bunny something. I don't know what it was.
How sleep deprived is your kid? He's seen a mutant bunny cat
A
thing.
bunyip.
He's seen the bunyip. Oh, Lord, he's seen the bunyip. So, man, I don't know.
I don't know. We have gremlins.
It was a
We
rabbit.
see them. We see the gremlins go past the window all the time.
We do. We've had, I seen the shadow figure run between two houses up the road from you. That was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting in the car, locking the doors. No.
Because,
I'm not-
a locked door is going to stop him.
Look, in my mind, I locked the doors, turned the car on, and made my way home because it was weird and it was
I've
it was
not
dark.
seen the gremlins nor the shadow people here.
No, we see
Well,
him
they
go
run
past
from
Well,
your
not the
window.
one outside anyway.
They
I've seen
run.
the old man downstairs.
Yeah, they run from you though.
I haven't seen him.
He's the one that we kept seeing in the pictures
Oh,
at the
that's
bottom
an
of the
old
stairs.
man?
Yeah, it's an old
Oh,
man.
I didn't know that. Well, that makes sense, though, because this room that we're in right now, when we first got this house, every single day for like 2 or 3 years, it smelled like cigarette smoke in here. Didn't matter how much I cleaned it, ripped the carpet out, everything. It smelled like cigarette smoke in here. So in my mind's eye, I seen an old man.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
I've seen shadow people and animals and shadow shapes outside of my house.
Yeah, your house.
Well,
before
look where it is.
Before they
But,
took most of the woods down, there was a thing that used to like to run through the woods at you, and yeah,
I was standing
no.
on one side of my car, and I was getting ready to go somewhere. I went to get in my truck. I had a Silverado at the time, and I heard something big. There was nothing there
Yeah.
because I could see through the trees. It was closer to winter time. Something ran through there past my truck. I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Yeah, we've had that a few times.
I was standing outside smoking under the oak tree one night, and it sounded like something heavy hit the ground behind me, and I turned around. There wasn't nothing there. Finished that cigarette real quick.
Well, Megan and I were standing in my kitchen talking the one day, and there's a hutch in the corner with the mirror. I was looking right at her, and the hutch was right here. And we're talking, and all of a sudden I see this huge figure go in the mirror of the hutch, and I'm like, I go to the front window, I look towards the door, I look towards the driveway, I look down the street, I look in the back door to see if somebody went, nope, there's nothing. And then we'll be sitting there doing things, sitting on the couch talking, and we see the little heads bobbing across the window, the little gremlin things.
Lily was sitting on the couch next to you a couple weeks ago, and she's seen that thing run through the yard.
Yeah, I saw one too. That was like,
They both looked at each other like, "Did you see that?"
yeah.
I'm not the only one, right? You seen that? That was weird. It's always weird stuff that
Like I said, I've not seen.
the gremlins outside.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Well, as we've learned, most of the things like to hide when you're around.
Yeah.
The
I'm
fact
okay
that you've
with that.
seen the old guy is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we were taking pictures down the stairs. That's when
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah.
He likes to peek around the corner down there and
Went
watch us.
He went from the laundry room toward Caden's room.
And I have a picture, which I guess it's probably him then,
Probably.
of when he was standing in front of the bookshelf, because you can see through both sides to the books on the bookshelf, and then there's the outline of a guy. Can't see through to the books.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
All
know.
right, well,
That's
I guess that's
interesting.
it for today, because we got off topic with the questions about what her daughter sees, so we all ventured into what we see.
Yeah. So, see you later, savages.